Can you see me?
Barely. All right.
Am I live? Can you see
Yeah.
me?
Yes. 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 All
Okay.
right. So we are
Well,
live.
I didn't know if you could.
All right. Um,
Hi, audience.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by our Patreon supporters and CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, and our co-sponsor CardHoarder.com, offering the best inventory prices and delivery of cards for Magic Online. I'm Evan Irwin, and we get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, Erin Campbell.
Howdy, y'all.
Ruben Bressler.
Hi. Today is a very exciting day for all of us.
Oh my God.
Many reasons.
For very many reasons. One of the biggest reasons being that we get to have an interesting first pick. Now, we also get started with our Trumpet Blast, which you can get one if you support us at the highest level on Patreon. But we're going to kick it off, as always, with the first pick in the giveaway. So the giveaway this week is very straightforward. We did it actually a couple weeks ago, but the hype train is running on a new level as of this week. We're going to give away a draft set of Masters 25. So I'm going to put the link in here the best I can. Ruben is currently in Tater Central.
Yeah.
Population Tate.
Yeah.
And,
so I won't be in the chat tonight. I apologize.
Yeah, unfortunately. That said, I did post the link in both places, and that's up, so you guys can go ahead and enter that, and that's cool. But the real news, the real first pick this week, is that we have a Kickstarter. There's a little thing that we used to do, or that I used to do rather, with Brad Nelson called the Complete Set Review. And the Complete Set Review was something that I created, just to brush the shoulders off. No one was going through every single card in a set until I started doing that with, at the time it was Todd and Jerry, and then later it was just with Jerry, and then later it was Brad, and then of course once it was Brad, it was like, oh man, this is where we're at. We found the special sauce. That said, we want to do it again. I haven't done one since Kaladesh, where I did it solo. I haven't done one with someone else since Shadows over Innistrad. So to get the band all together and to make that thing happen, we need to buy plane tickets and hotel rooms and production time, and we're going to have an editor, / producer who's going to help us film all of it. We're going to film on location at Cool Stuff in Orlando, Florida. It's going to be sweet. Not only are we going to be able to film that, we can film other stuff, like Ruben needs a pie in his face. I mean, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff that we can do.
I do owe that.
And yeah, so I could use some definite mod action, and I'll see if I can make that work for those who are helping us or want to help us out. But that said, this is a Kickstarter for $1,000 is our goal. If we can reach $1,000, then we can make this complete set review live and in person happen right before the Dominaria pre-release. This is somewhere around April 16th-ish, something like that, April 17th, something like that. Either way, mid-April, right before the pre-release, just like they used to be. Like me and Brad would film all day on Tuesdays and Wednesdays sometimes. And but this one's we're going to do, all day long. This is going to be coming in the morning, talk about Magic cards all day, because it takes a while to get through those cards, as you'll find out.
We're very excited and nervous for this because we don't know. This is like, it's sort of like when we launched the Patreon. We didn't know if people were really going to latch onto the show. We don't know if people really want this kind of, like, we've heard allegorical, oh, what happened to the set reviews? Maybe you guys should start that back up again. So who knows? Maybe we get it, maybe we don't. But this is a very exciting time, right now, just as we launch it, and we hope you guys think it's worth doing.
Yeah, and we hope you like us, that you really, really like us.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a milestone to me, at least. I when you've been in content creation for long enough, you have to find new things to get excited about and new things to sort of strive for, and to be at the point where, Evan, you're sort of our marketing master, and I doubt you would have suggested this if you didn't think we had a reasonable shot of hitting it. And so I've never had a Kickstarter before. I am still fairly new to Patreon, and so this is very exciting. I look forward to working with you guys. I think putting us in a room together opens up different opportunities. We can film live on location. Just having physical chemistry with people is very fun to watch when it's there, and I certainly think we have it. And I'm excited, but at the same time, it's like leading up to this, it's like I'm so excited I could puke. I just don't think about it too much. It's like, la 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 la. It's I hope it works.
So yeah, I guess we'll check in on the Patreon throughout the show, huh?
Are we having difficulties?
I don't know. Is Evan there? Evan?
I hear you. Where's
sorry.
Evan?
Somebody hit
he
the mute
muted.
button on his microphone.
Look, you got so many buttons. I get it. It's cool.
Hashtag
Like,
professional.
You're trying to launch a Kickstarter while running a show. I get it.
It's a multifaceted process.
So throughout the show, I guess I'm being told by the chat that we're already 20% there.
Yeah,
what?
We're at 170. Whoa, we're at 233 as of this moment. Thank you, everyone, again.
This is updating live.
It will update
I thought I'd
live.
have to refresh or something. This is...
Well, thank you so much. This will be live for 2.5 weeks or whatever. Erin will be doing her live stream on the 18th. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the 18th is when the Kickstarter closes, and I'll be streaming up to that point. So we will either be having a celebration stream, or we'll be having a sort of drown in sorrow stream. But either way, it'll be a good time. I'm going to play my usual...
Look, as the tears roll, and we don't make it, and, God.
I'm being humble.
Successes, or we drink to drown our sorrows.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Well, we dredge to celebrate, or we dredge to drown our sorrows. So.
We certainly do. Either way, thank you so much for everything so far. This is our first ever Kickstarter. It's my first ever Kickstarter thing, and you just cross your fingers and hope to God. All right, so beyond the first pick, we got to move to Gather the Townsfolk, because as we promised long ago, there's only one first pick. However, it has been a week in Magic, ladies and gentlemen. You have seen what I could arguably say is one of, if not the best master sets that they've ever made. And we're not even done. We're not even done. Wizards had a marketing masterstroke by unbanning Jace the Mind Sculptor. I mean, just straight up.
Super smart. Oh my God. They figured it out. They were just like, what if we cross these streams? And turns out it didn't ruin Modern, thank God. Like, that could have been horrendous.
That could have been.
But because it didn't, turns out they're just going to sell 1 billion packs.
I got to tell you, sales are up. I mean, people are excited, man. This is happening. It's really fun, and the set is absolutely amazing, and we're going to dive into it. But the first thing we dive into is our previews, our sweet custom previews. We have 3. There's 3 of us. 1, 2, 3. 3 spoilers. So, with no further ado, other than the fact that I thought all of these were going to be in Pauper, because you can't tell the set symbols Pauper uncommon from common.
Don't even get him started.
These are all uncommon, just so we're clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Erin, why don't you tell us a little bit about your card before you introduce it?
So I was not around for the original printing of this card, but it kind of speaks to me on a very personal level. I love to have sort of the running joke of my block lists and my Twitter feed and things of that nature. And, you could say that I might even be known for excluding people a little bit.
It's on the screen.
So my preview card is Exclude. So Exclude is 2 and a blue. It's an instant. You can counter target creature spell and then draw a card. So it has sort of a remand-ish kind of feel. And then the flavor text is interesting. It's a shout out to Teferi, who we're going to be hopefully spending some more time with in Dominaria. It says terrifying, but thankfully temporary. And, kind of the same thing. You got somebody bugging you, give them a little mute, give them a little temporary, put them in timeout a little bit. And then when you're ready to hear back from them again, you unmute them, and it's a wonderful time. And so this card speaks to me on a very personal level. And I'm not normally a blue mage, but I would totally run this card.
You guys are going to make me tear up. We literally have already hit our goal.
Are you kidding?
What?
We didn't even get through the first spoiler.
What? I show us as being I don't show us as being very. I show us as being close.
There's no way.
No, as of right. Oh no, is that right? That's wrong. 905. I'm sorry. I was told the wrong number in the chat, and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is incredible!" Still,
look, man, 905
before the first spoiler's done.
By the way, because it seems like we might get there in the next 18 days. We are going to have stretch goals. There are going to be other things that are going to be available, and once we're done with this episode, we'll talk about them. But they're going to include things like extra stuff that we're doing with the art that we're doing for Dominaria of the 3 of us, for new tokens and new, maybe we'll make prints or playmats or wallpapers or something like that. You can help us make extra content and pay for the editing time for that. Maybe I get a new computer because I potato.
I'm not kidding you guys. If we reach a certain stretch goal, we'll
Okay, according to this, we just broke our goal.
We broke our goal. You guys are. Oh my god!
Unbelievable.
I'm overclamped right now because I swear to God,
that can't be real. This isn't.
I've been very nervous about this.
They can go back. They can do takesy backsies, right? Like this is.
They can, and it probably will happen a little bit because it's just normal people. Things happen in life, but
wow,
this is amazing.
Unbelievable.
This is amazing. It took us 12 minutes.
Wow.
You guys. I can't. Okay. All right.
Well,
so
I was going to talk about Exclude for a second because it's a sweet counterspell that I remember casting in Standard. This new art is countering another Innistrad card for Phyrexian Rager, which looks adorable in this picture by Yehan Chu or Jaehan Chu. I love the the Invasion set symbol. Some of the set symbols look better than others in the watermark, and Invasion is nice. I like the way that this Exclude looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks terrific. And anyway, so what I was saying about the stretch goals, I swear to God, one of the stretch goals is get Ruben a new computer. I know we get to poke fun, but at the same time, the man needs a machine.
Yeah.
He needs some help. All right, so
we need to do a Christian Children's Fund style video, Ruben. We need to get you in a black and white setting, sitting on a railroad track, and this is Ruben. Your 30 cents a day can make sure that he can stream, moderate the chat, and participate in discussions. And we'll play Sarah McLachlan in the background. It'll be wonderful.
Right, but it'll be choppy, Sarah McLachlan.
Right. And he won't be by the railroad track. He'll be in his overalls digging up taters, as you do. Oh my God! Okay.
Anyway, let's get back to our regularly scheduled Magic Mics.
Let's do, shall we? Okay. So Ruben, tell us about your spoiler.
My spoiler, ladies and gentlemen, as Erin had an exclusionary thing. I'm known as the Red Mage on the cast, and we have a nice little goblin for you named Spike Shot Goblin. It's going to be an uncommon in this set. It's a Goblin Shaman, originally from Mirrodin. 2 colorless and a red, and it gives you a 1/2, but its activated ability is pay a red and tap, : Spike Shot Goblin deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Yeah, we've had a couple of stuff that deals with power, dealing damage, things like that. Bloodshot Trainee comes to mind. Spike Shot Elder was another one. But I think that Spike Shot Goblin might be the first. Might be. I'm not totally sure on that. But another excellent limited powerhouse. Usually it's just a pinger, but you can combine it with Giant Growth and other effects like that to deal some real damage. So yes, I really like Spike Shot Goblin. It's one of my favorite limited cards. It's a high pick in Mirrodin block. Able to pick off all the numerous 1/1s that were in that set. So big fan of the card.
Awesome. And yeah. So for what it's worth, Spike Shot Goblin was common in Mirrodin because that was good.
Oh, sure.
Fair magic.
Way too powerful. A lot of cards went from common to uncommon in this set. Bolt comes to mind. Dark Ritual. Can you imagine a limited environment in which Dark Ritual is common? I'm not a big fan of that. So Spike Shot Goblin, deservedly so, shifting up in rarity.
Oh man. So our last one here, our last preview from Masters 25 is one of my favorite cards because it welcomed us to a new era. It was a sort of a turning the page of, you know what, we're going to make creatures pretty sweet. We're going to stop pushing the spells and pushing the spells and pushing the spells, even though they kept pushing the spells for a while. But by and large, we're going to make creatures scary and good and awesome. And it was so awesome that it was in a mini Pro Tour decks because how aggro friendly it was. And that would be the Watchwolf. The Watchwolf, which now has, I believe this is the Magic Online promo art. Is going to be
cards. Yeah, I have that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, it's going to be in paper once again with Masters 25. It is an uncommon. I wish it were common so I could play it in Pauper, but that's okay. That's fine. We got some other Pauper cards we have to talk about.
You'll get that when I get Reanimate in common. That's...
Oh, come on. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, you have Exhume already. That's just, Anyway. Watchwolf itself is terrific. It's a green and a white for a 3/3, and that's it. It's a green and a white for a 3/3. And back in the day, when Ravnica first showed up and the rocks were soft, we were all like, the basements were being flooded by, oh my god, the power creep of a 2-mana 3/3 with 0 drawback. It always comes with some stupid drawback. Now there's no drawback.
Yep.
It also has the
Shout
sweet,
out to
classic
Jonathan.
Go ahead.
I was going to say shout out to Jonathan Sukenik, aka Watchwolf92, the Magic Online grinder who's always been known as the Watchwolf. He's back in the set. So I wanted to tell Jonathan ahead of time, and I told my co-hosts I wanted to do that, and they were like, "That's not a good idea. Don't do that." But good news, buddy. We got Watchwolf in for you.
Because only in Ravnica do the wolves watch the flock.
Other one where all three of ours actually, the watermark looks real nice on our cards.
Very nice.
Yeah, and those watermarks alone, I mean, just look at, I'll bring up Spike Shot Goblin here. Check out that Mirrodome watermark. That is so sick. That was the best idea. I'm so glad they listened to that idea. It was unbelievable.
So smart.
These things are going to shine in foil. The foils are going to be worth even more than regular Masters foils because that watermark exists. I mean, my God, that Blood Moon is absolutely gorgeous, which we'll get to here in a second. Because Magic 25, and again, I want to paint you a picture of like maybe 6 weeks ago, and it was like, oh my God. Masters 25, man, I don't know. After Iconic, I don't know. And there's people who not necessarily lost their butts, but, you know, like the Master sets are expensive things. And if you have a lot of expensive things, you know, and people aren't buying them, that's a problem. And so, you know, now we are in like full blown, like super hype. There are rumors at this point, and there's just rumors. And I speculated on them myself, that something special is going on with the foils. Wizards doesn't show you the foil cards. They only show you the non-foil cards. And if they're regular foils, that's totally cool, and that's totally okay, because, again, the set symbol is going to look amazing. What I pontificated about was that they may be doing masterpieces, and they're not telling us anything about them. And we won't find them until we start opening the set itself when the set comes out. And so... because they're super rare, you only get one masterpiece in like 1,400 packs or something ridiculous. Or 1,100 packs, I can't remember what it was, but, you know, a lot of packs, then they would come out very slowly. They'd be really excited. You wouldn't know how many they were making and or what they look like. So, and because for me, that would mirror the best promotion they ever did, which was the Zendikar Hidden Treasures. I mean, that promotion was insane. I mean, you just can't imagine, you know, seeing these things pop up of, oh my God, I got a beta this, or I got a, you know, Legends that. It was crazy. Yeah.
Somebody opened a signed Lotus Petal at one of mine, which was weird. But yeah, if they do stuff like that, it would be, you know, that would be doing it in the right way, as opposed to when they did it at HasCon, when it was just like, we're just not going to spoil the set, so everything's a surprise. No, this one, it has the hype, but then there's additional hype when the set comes out. That would be amazing. I love the idea. You know, even if they don't do it for this set, steal it for a future set. Who cares?
Go nuts. So Wizards, you can have that one for free.
That's absolutely. Like and
I'm sorry.
We're rolling in Kickstarter money now, so you can have that one for free. But yeah, I mean, the hype for this set is up there, and we did not think that was necessarily going to be the case a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was going to be the case. You know, I was of the mindset that the Iconic Masters had set the bar so low that you would almost have to try to screw this up. Like, I was convinced it would be successful. I didn't know that it would be a slam dunk, but I was a little more realistic going into this of like, the bar is pretty low. Like, you gotta really try. And the one thing I really appreciate that they're doing, and I don't know if they're going to do this going forward, but I appreciate that they're giving spoilers to certain people. You know, Osip Levadowicz was given a card that was very important to him and led to some Pro Tour success on his end. Craig Wesco obviously getting Thalia and Savannah Lions. Zach Elsick getting Ensnaring Bridge, and then Ensnaring Bridge is gorgeous. I love that.
P. Sully got Bolt. Dana Fisher got her first 2 spoilers
8 years old and getting spoiler cards. You go, Dana. Like, I'm not even mad, little girl. But no, I love that they're aiming the spoilers at people and having people with relationships to these cards spoil them. I think that's a great thing.
Absolutely. I mean, when Marshall gets Man of War, all is right with the world. You know what I mean? That's just beautiful.
Yeah.
That is terrific. I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, clearly Wizard sits down and says, you know, this could go to that person, this could go to that person. And when there's a reprint set, being able to say, well, this is like their wheelhouse, you know, our wheelhouse. I think that's terrific. So, and Savannah, you know, personally, I would have loved to get Savannah Lions. I've talked about it many times over the years. It was my favorite card when I first started playing. You know, who cares?
We'll will be, first of all, you got Giant Solifuge once.
I did.
And also, if you want to build preview card constructed, you need to widen your base. You can't repeat. Yeah. So you want to get more cards that are legal in that are possible. So
Nice.
One
day you can actually play that, which is
you've got like a
Mike's
decent
Magic Show.
Abzan, like Creekwood Liege, Watchwolf, sort of Feast and Famine, Desecration Demon deck going. You got like a nice little mid range.
Right. It'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I love that. So we're gonna go through some of the Masters 25 previews, and Wizards has done some really interesting things with what money cards they wanted in what rarity, because that is hugely important as to the value of these cards. So first of all, let's take a look at some ridiculous mythics. Those being, of course, Jace the Mind Sculptor, but also, surprise, Imperial Recruiter.
What?
Imperial Recruiter showed up, and
the art.
Feel
is so
free to
cheap.
cut the camera angles of them out of here. This is Ruben time now. With Imperial Recruiter. Oh, move over, Jace. Got the real Chase Mythic of the set. I want to play 4 of this Masters 25 Imperial Recruiter and 4 of the new Elves versus Inventors Goblin Welder in my Painter's Servant deck in Seattle in like a month and a half.
No.
Yes. Aaron, yes.
I will let you feel the fantasy, but just... This card is expensive. I think, according to Star City, it's going for a minimum of $110 a piece.
Yeah.
Card is nuts. Yeah, I saw this and I was like,
it was a huge deal when it was a Judge promo, let alone in a pack.
Yeah, and don't even get the Judges started, because there are several cards in this set that were recently given out as Judge promos, and there are a couple Judges that are calling shenanigans that are like, listen. But this card is sweet. And in fact, this is there was a card that recently came out in the new Conspiracy set, Recruiter the Guard, that people were using as a replacement for this because it was so expensive, and it technically did the same thing. But yeah, this was the reason why, is because this card was so dang rare. And I know a lot of people were stoked that this is out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
also it has the Portal 3 Kingdoms watermark, which means that we have yet to see the original Portal and the Portal 2 and the starter watermarks. So I'm really looking forward to like Vizardrix coming out, right?
Oh.
Stuff like that. That would be delightful.
That would be super great. I mean, there's a few at this point. There's a few Last Bastions, and the Last Bastion before Masters 25 was Rishadan Port, but there's Imperial Seal and Grim Tutor.
Yep.
Those are some of the most expensive Magic cards that exist, and those are the ones that now people are going like, all right, when are they going to put in the set? When are they going to put it? Let's do this.
In terms of cards that are, first of all, that's the starter one. Please let us do it. If those are, and honestly, Imperial Seal could be the Portal 2 one, right? So that would be bang, bang, boom. But I think that you're right. Those are the expensive ones that see any play. I don't anticipate us seeing Zodiac Dragon anytime soon. That one's really the last bastion.
Sure.
There are a couple of weird ones from Portal 3 Kingdoms and stuff like that. But you're absolutely right.
Imperial Seal is from 3 Kingdoms, for what it's worth.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
But I'm pretty sure that Grim Tutor is from Starter 99, which it totally is. So
that would be, please, Wizards.
I don't know if Wizards wants to go. Like, Wizards can't say that they know the secondary market exists. They know the secondary market is like, there's a point in which like you want to hold back, because if they give us all the goodies now and there's another master set this fall and it's like, well, you've already given us all the ridiculous crap Master 25, like there's nothing really for them to kind of, show off with, as it were. That said, moving up to Mythic is Chalice of the Void. And for those in the chat who said, hey, man, why did they bump Chalice of the Void up to Mythic? They're a subsidiary of Hasbro, and they make dollars, and they want to make more dollars, and that card is worth $50. So to be able to...
what card I want to see next?
What's that?
Engineered Explosives. That's another one of those artifacts that we have not had nearly enough copies of and still is hovering in the $50, $60 range. Give us that. That's what I'm jonesing for.
I would be totally okay with that, personally. Yes. But Chalice of the Void is a very exciting and very, very powerful card, which I had no problems it being at Mythic. That said, if we look at some new art cards...
of course.
Ensnaring Bridge is now Mythic.
Ensnaring Bridge? Art!
is
Titus Lunter.
Titus, you friggin' master, you killed it.
That art is creepy as hell. Look at it. Is there a picture, Evan?
There's a picture on screen right now.
Hands just, oh my God, they're so realistic, and I love everything about it. And I'm under the impression that Titus doesn't get very many artifacts, or maybe this might be his first, but he said something to the effect of like just him being kind of inexperienced with artifacts. And I'm so glad they gave him this because he just knocked it out of the park. Like, look at that art, and Gerard, and ugh.
Oh my God. Quick update on our Kickstarter. $1,674.
Oh my God. Y'all.
You guys. I can't.
What?
All right,
What is this life?
It's fine. It's amazing. Oh my God. All right. So Ensnaring Bridge is amazing, but also got bumped up to Mythic. And so this is where you can put the tinfoil hat on and say, yeah, maybe they didn't like Lantern, but they're about to print Ensnaring Bridge as Mythic, so maybe we're just going to be okay with that and let the pros, stick up for it and make these articles that say Lantern's cool and blah, blah, blah. And, the CIA are listening. But yeah, so that's a thing, just so happens that Ensnaring Bridge is a Mythic and they didn't ban it, so make of that what you will.
Yeah.
And the artwork is amazing. Speaking of artwork being amazing, there's a new Doomsday in town. A card that has seen a few different printings. This one, again, it's Mythic, back to Mythic. It's from Weatherlight. I love the watermark. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And of course, Noah Bradley, being Noah Bradley, did an amazing job showing what I would describe as utter despair. Mm-hmm. This was everything's going to end. Oh my God.
And the man in the artwork, it kind of resembles Noah in a way. Like he's sort of a fit, bald man. Like I wonder if he was maybe the inspiration for it, or but yeah, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Absolutely. So did a great job.
This might be my favorite art in the set. And there's some great art in this set, but this one in particular, really, I just look every time I come back to it. It just sticks out to me again.
Yeah, it is super great. There is a new Flash in town. The only time Flash is ever going to be in foil is in this set, or if they decide to put in a different one, but they won't. Don't worry.
Right.
Oh, man.
This is their chance to do something from Mirage. The Mirage watermark, amazing. The new artwork looks absolutely terrific. And Flash is a really weird, freaky card. So it's awesome that they have Protean Hulk in the set. I don't have it on screen, but they have Protean Hulk in the set. You can do Flash Hulk in limited. That's awesome.
And they let Bill Stark, name from the past, preview it because he made top 8 not playing Flash Hulk, but he was playing a deck designed to beat Flash Hulk at one of the first Grand Prix I ever attended in my hometown of Grand Prix Columbus.
Wow.
That won by another blast from the past. Mr. Steve Sadin was the victor of that particular Grand Prix. I think Paul Cheon made the top 8 of that Grand Prix. That was an interesting tournament. That was the weekend that Future Sight became legal, everyone. So it wasn't legal for the Grand Prix, but you could play Flash Hulk with 4 Pact of Negation and 4 Summoner's Pact in the Sunday Legacy Grinders.
Wow.
So if you think Legacy's broken now, boy, let me tell you. with 8 Pact Flash Hulk was legal.
I have a friend who plays Rector Flash in Vintage, and he's probably going to be excited about this new version right here.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's cool because Wizards is able to put a lot of those crazy combos into the set. If you are lucky enough and or draft correctly, you can open up a Vesuvan Shapeshifter, which is in the set at rare. You can also be passed or open up a Brine Elemental. And get past. You could literally form the pickle stack.
Pickles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Swinging in the upkeep for our team. Yeah.
Wow. See, that's what I like where you're going there.
I am all for formats that condone broken things. Like, this is fine. Like,
I had one other hilarious trivia piece from that top 8 of the Flash Hulk GP. The loser of the finals was also the highest placing amateur of the tournament, so he won the amateur prize. So actually, he won more money than Steve Sadin did in that tournament, and his name was Owen Turtenwald.
Who? I don't know.
Owen Turtenwald.
Oh, okay.
Playing Legacy Goblins in that top 8.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and hey, I have also received the amateur prize before.
Nice.
a long time ago at GP Detroit. I got $500.
Well done.
It was awesome.
Work.
I got 500. I was champions at Kamigawa, Betrayers of Kamigawa Limited, and
You and the O-Rat share that in common.
Did you have to travel in the snow both ways to get there, Grandpa? Is that
wow. Well, we had to get out and push, because if you're going through the mountain pass, you got to be careful. There's the mountain lions are up here.
a kinfolk went out and helped you?
Well, and a kid's playing banjo to keep your spirits up.
This was back when Evan was young and spry and full of life, so he was able to help push the car, rather than today, made of rickety bones and bound together with, twine.
Well, for new art here, Flash has new art, which is, obviously terrific. But another one that got new art, and the Homelands card, maybe there's more, but I doubt it. The Homelands card for the set is Ison's Shade. Now, let's be very careful here, because I did this wrong for years and years and years. It is Ishan, it is Isan, not Ishan, which is the way that I was saying it forever, to be honest, until I was like, wait a minute.
I thought it was Ishan's Shade too, but it's IHSAN.
Yeah, so Isan Shade is a legend, an uncommon legend from Homelands because there were no rares. But it is a 6-mana 5/5 pro white. And let me tell you, from as I grab my cane, back in the day, if Swords to Plowshares couldn't kill it and Lightning Bolt couldn't kill it, it would kill you. This card back in the day could not be stopped. You were like, oh my god, I hope I draw my disc, because if I don't get Navinral's disc, Isan Shade is going to kill me. Yeah. Because there's no way to stop it.
Yeah. Let's talk about Worlds 1996, where Isan's Shade was the main win condition in Mark Justice's Nevinral Necro deck.
Wow.
All right? You want to go back in the day. First of all, there's no reason why I should know that, but that's the deck. Go back in time and look at his, he's playing lava tubes and crap.
That sounds like a deck I would play.
I mean, it had Contagion in it, so you got that in common.
Nice. Contagion was great. But Autumn Willow was a legitimate finisher back in the day, and Isan Shade a legitimate finisher back in the day, because Bolt couldn't get you, Swords couldn't get you. That's a huge deal.
Couldn't get you.
Yeah.
And if you're going to talk about the Shade, though, you've got to talk about the OG, Christopher Rush. I mean,
it's so good. The original artwork is amazing.
The original art is sicko.
Right. I don't have it right here on me, but the new art is here. It's by Darkin. I think he did a great job. For those, and like the cool thing about Homelands, the reason that card was also cool is because Homelands had great lore. It had terrible cards, great lore. Isan Shade was supposed to guard the Angels. He was a part of the Sarah Angels, sort of, House of Sarah, as it were. Yeah. And his idea was that he was going to go to Baron Singer, and Baron sort of welcomes him in and expects him to try to attack and kill him. And he's like, no, I plead fealty, and I want to be a vampire, and I want you to show me the ways of the eternity and blah, blah. Because Isan the whole time was wanting to make me a vampire powerful enough to kill you. And then I'll kill you.
That's some pro wrestling stuff right there.
I just love the Sengir family of Irini and Grandma and Baron, and just that whole storyline was great.
It is a really good story. Unfortunately, the set is so bad.
Chandler, Erin the Relentless, all those characters.
Well, Baron was smart enough to know, and even mentions, he says, if I was a younger vampire, I might fall for this. But he was experienced enough to know what he was doing. So what he did was, He drank all of his blood or whatever, and then he cast a spell that his grandmother, that Grandma Singir, taught him, which turned him into a ghost and made him bound to a ring on his finger. And he said, you are bound to this ring. Wherever this ring is, you will be, and you will be the bodyguard of whoever is on this ring. And he cried for 100 days and nights. Baron didn't care. What's 100 days to someone who lives forever, right? And just didn't care. And so he made him be his essential slave forever.
Awesome.
Wow, that's dark.
That's Isan Shade for you. All right, so the rares.
Darken. Ha. Sorry.
No, it's okay. There's a few times, and it's great, for master sets. There's a few times where you have to just all caps. You have to just, happening in my life. I don't understand. And Rishadan Port, not that it was not expected. Rishadan Port at rare was not expected. This is a very expensive card. They did not have to put it at rare. Yet they did. So it's on the screen right now, and it's quite simply one of the most exciting rares in the set. It's something we've been waiting to reprint forever.
And this is the card that keeps people from playing Death and Taxes in Legacy. People can get the Stoneforge Mystics, they can get the Mother of Runes, they can get the Batterskull, they can get the Vials, but
at this point they can even get the Caracas.
Yeah, I mean, I know so many people where this is the only thing they need, and this is probably going to lead to some more Death and Taxes players.
Absolutely. And lands players.
Yeah.
I love that they got the promo art.
Yeah.
This is the first time that this art will be available in a pack, which I love this art. It's got the upside down Mercadian Mountain in the background. So you get the nice scale upside down mountain. Yeah, I love this. I think it's just a spectacular home run, and at rare too. Boy, that's some value. People were talking about how the rares in this set might overshadow most of the mythics because of the value that there's so many value rares in this set.
It's amazing.
Ports in between $80 and $90 right now, depending on the website you go to, and I believe Death and Taxes runs 4. Yep. Wow. The pre-orders for this one, the newer one, are starting around 40 to 50. So that's quite a bit of savings there if you're looking to get on that train.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's really been sweet to see, again, like, oh my God, they actually went and reprinted Port finally, because that was the question for Iconic was, is it Mana Drain or is it Port? Well, it was Mana Drain, now this is Port. And so you also kind of look through all these spoilers for Magic 25 and you're like, this really was Iconic Masters. If they had called this set Iconic Masters, we'd have been like, yeah, it is. It's
especially with these watermarks too.
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely amazing.
Good point.
So with that said, we're going to move on here to the next rare, which is Eidolon of the Great Revel, which was previewed by the great Patrick Sullivan, of course. Right up his alley, on brand.
Yeah.
One of the best 2-drops of all time, one of the best red cards of all time. It's great to see. This is Born of the Gods, is that right?
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
I believe it is, yes. One of the only reasons that set was worth much of anything. No shade, wait, shade. But it's terrific that you get another printing of this card, and it is awesome. And he also got Lightning Bolt. Again, one of those cards that were like, you make Iconic Masters and you don't put Lightning Bolt in it? No. You make Masters 25 and you put Lightning Bolt.
I was a little... something that stuck out to me is I've noticed that a lot of the cards are very bare bones. You know, the Brainstorm, the Counterspell, the Armageddon, they don't have any flavor text. It's just sort of the destroy all lands. I was curious I was intrigued by the fact that Lightning Bolt is full of flavor text, where it's like, why didn't you just do 3 damage to something? Why do we have a paragraph of flavor text? I'm not really sure that was necessary.
So this was Journey into Nyx, not Born of the Gods.
Journey into Nyx. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So with that said, that's really sweet. Last rare I want to talk about is the filter lands. Now these are just the enemy filter lands, which is Cascade Bluffs and Friends from Eventide, but these were $20 bills that they are now giving you in the rare slot for Masters 25.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. There was going to have to be a rare cycle of lands in any set that you make, and the filter lands are a great choice because they've only been printed the one time. They were printed in Eventide, so they were not particularly opened very often, and another home run.
Absolutely. So there's also money still in the uncommon slot because Brainstorm is here with that amazing watermark.
I love this art. This is my favorite art for Brainstorm.
And I play Magic Online predominantly, so I'm used to everybody just running this Brainstorm.
Oh man, and let me tell you, the person who got that Brainstorm art, and I just sort of heard this one from the grapevine. As I recall, this was a giveaway for a vintage event. Is that right, or a legacy event?
The winner of Vintage Champs, I believe, won the big one of this.
Right. Oh, wow. The person who won that art turned down $25,000.
Wow.
Because that's real and that art is amazing and they wanted it. And sometimes, you want things more than money anyway. But I thought that was really interesting. That said, Ash Barrens, speaking of $25,000, Ash Baron foils are going to be a thing. And it's already a $7 common.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So you're going to have a $7 uncommon and like a $30, $40 foil. Because ridiculous and EDH and goes in every EDH deck ever and goes in every Pauper deck ever.
Yep.
Yeah, that card is real and amazing.
I want to say one more thing about this Brainstorm, by the way. They center justified the text, which they typically don't do for 3 lines of text. Like you look at Lightning Bolt and there's fewer words on Lightning Bolt and they filled it up with flavor text. You'd expect the same treatment on Brainstorm. But no, they center justified it. It matches up real nicely with that Ice Age watermark. And I think that, this is my favorite art to begin with anyway, because I'm just a huge Chris Ron fanboy. And I just love this thing.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrific. And lastly here is Cursecatcher, which has the beautiful Shadowmoor symbol on it. Doesn't have new art, but that's okay.
Was a $10 uncommon.
Yeah.
So the professor got, again, let's talk about on brand. The professor got his
Cursecatcher. Man, you are tatering, bro. You're God help us on Kickstarter. We'll buy him a new computer.
Not only did the professor get this card, but he also tapped in on Nikachu, who's a young man who is basically to merfolk what I am to dredge. He has a YouTube channel devoted to merfolk. He's one of the best authorities on merfolk in just about every format. And so he brought Nikachu in to make a video to preview this card, which I thought was great. He could have easily done it himself, but he chose to, bring somebody in who's known for that archetype, and that's fantastic.
Oh man! And Ruben, you are staying on brand. You realize that, right? On tater.
I'll get the potato spoilers for the next set.
We went from Cursecatcher to Spudcatcher. Just
wow, just like that. All right, so there, and just for those who play Pauper, like myself, got to mention a few big hits. Gathering Magic got 2 of them, which was awesome, which is Frenzied Goblin and Hordeling Outburst. Both of these cards are super real. Both of these cards are going to change Pauper because the Goblins deck is back on the table, boys. Woo! Goblins, Pauper, it's going to be insane. I love it. I mean, Frenzied Goblin, that card is awesome. Like, just straight beat down, that card is awesome. That card is going to wreck some control player's face.
They were losing their minds over Pillage, too, and I was just like, ooh.
Because, see, before, you either had to have Tron hate or Affinity hate, and now the chocolate goes into the peanut butter. Now you have both.
Porque no los dos.
That's what I'm saying. Because a green-red, like, Ponza strategy could exist. Balduvian Horde at common. First of all, Balduvian Horde at common. I never thought I would say those words, having grown up in the 90s and seen that card as a $20 rare.
Fallen.
Oh yeah. It fell from literal day one. But in Pauper, that's different. Like a Blastoderm, you can't have a Rancor on a Blastoderm. Gurmag Angler, you got to have the cards in the graveyard to be able to get rid of that thing, or if they bounce it, you have a hard time replaying it. If they bounce this with an empty hand, who cares? You just get it for free at that point. Like 5/5s in Pauper that you can play relatively early are real things, even if they're bad ones, quote unquote, like Balduvian Horde. You can take advantage of that because there are plenty of Madness cards, Madness red or green cards that you can use in conjunction with them.
New art on that Balduvian Horde, also new flavor text. They've given Lovisa, I believe is how you say her name. She's got some new lines. And shout out to Allison Lures. I believe Allison said she was the director of the flavor text or somehow in charge of the flavor text for this. And I really love the line they gave her about winning in blood and all of that. That was really cool.
Yeah. So that was super sweet, and I appreciate the excitement that master sets really get around, like, what are they going to do to Pauper? What's going to hit Pauper? What's going to be common? Please be common. And then they gave us literally the only downside to Magic 25, which is I can't tell if it's common or uncommon when I first look at it. And I go, like, I had emailed back, the Wizards when they sent us the cards, and I was just like, oh my God, Watch Wolf is in Pauper. That's insane. And they're like, it's uncommon. And I was like, oh, sorry. Because I thought all 3 of these were common. And I was like, oh my God, Exclude's in there. And then Spike Shot got, because Spike Shot was already there. The Spike Shot was already there, mirrored it. And I was like, oh man, they're just making this going to be the 3 thing. Air horn. No. All right. Well,
another thing that happened this week on the set symbol standpoint, just to jump ahead real quick, was that we know what the Dominaria set symbol is. And if you look at what the Dominaria set symbol is, it looks like they're filling that in with a lot more of the gold, silver, and orange and white than they did for Masters 25. So if it was a mistake, they certainly fixed it quick.
Oh, Rats, you forgot something.
Oh no, what did I forget?
Rats and M25.
Oh my God, rats! Oh rats! Oh crap! Rat!
All
Relentless.
the rats.
We've got Relentless.
Rats on rats on rats on rats on rats.
Like rats. You were excited about goblins. I'm excited about rats.
It's rats all the way down.
I'm excited. I mean, I gotta say, I think that first of all, the set symbol is ridiculous. I don't know what to make of what that is, the Dominaria set symbol. But I guess we'll figure that out later on. But anyway, that was part of some WPN shenanigans that people got some WPN information and it had the Dominaria set symbol on it. But yeah, Relentless, Rats, and Pauper, is that going to do anything, Evan?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
it's cool. It's just not really like that
But
effective.
new art, that art is great. I
New
would
art's great.
100% play it in limited. Yes, give me all the rats. This is fine.
Now, Hordeling Outburst. Ooh, 3 mana for 3/1/1s. 3.
You don't got to sell me on a Hordeling Outburst,
Dudes.
Evan. I am all over the place.
Seriously? Thank you, on brand.
Yep.
You know, you got to do what you got to do. That said, there was a article this week that came out from Gavin Verhey, was talking about the future of master sets. And you ever painted something, and you ever painted something like, if you ever painted a floor, and if you ever painted a floor, and if you're not careful, you'll paint yourself right into a corner, and you'll go, I can't get out for the next 2 hours, otherwise I'll ruin my paint job. Well, Wizards has kind of done that in the master sets. They've kind of run out of words that they can use, iconic, eternal, whatever, and they don't really want to, pigeonhole themselves that these are just modern cards. And so, moving forward, they're going to do something a little different, and they're going to essentially create themes. So instead of it being Modern Masters X, Y, and Z, it was going to be, it's going to be around a theme. We don't know what the first one is going to be called. Again, I expect it this fall because they've already started double dipping as of last year. And I certainly don't expect them to bust all of it at a HasCon type event because that was dumb. But Modern Masters in and of itself has been an incredible success for Wizards. Despite Iconic being bad, like Modern Masters 2017 was amazing. That set was ridiculous and just worth infinite dollars, particularly these days. Had Snapcaster, had the fetch lands, like it was amazing. But again, they want to be able to put stuff like conspiracy cards in there. And if you're like, this is modern, whatever, 2020, you can't really put it in there without them going like, is this legal for modern now? It's like, no, it's not. They're just reprinting stuff.
I don't know. I worry they might be painting themselves into a different corner because I feel like the nice thing about having it be called Modern Masters is that there's very firm criteria there. The only qualifying factor is you have to be legal and modern. The problem with something like Iconic Masters is that it's very subjective. One of the main criticisms of the set was that there were cards in the set that people didn't think were iconic, where it was like, well, Bloodghast is cute, but it's not iconic. And we saw that kind of with the from the vaults, for a while there of like from the vault lore, and it's like, well, this isn't very lore-y to me, or like, you had the from the vault, whatever, and people have their differing opinions. And I just worry that when you move from a very hard and fast metric to something that's so subjective and subject to differing opinions, you might be more likely to let people down as opposed to just, it's modern legal, check, legacy, it's legacy legal, check. Those are very easy boxes to check off, but I'm a little concerned when it's so broad like that.
And I don't think you're necessarily wrong. Like, at this point, they're going to paint themselves into a master's corner. Like,
sure.
What does masters mean? Does masters need to always follow this? Can they call this something that doesn't include the word masters and make it and have it make sense and have players go, oh, this is the expensive set, all the good reprints? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll find out because Hasbro's like, hey, how about we do 2 sets of the $10 a pack stuff? And they're like, all right, sure, whatever. Speaking of being a subsidiary of Hasbro, not that there's anything wrong with that. To be clear, I'm okay with businesses making good decisions
Girls
to make
gotta
money.
eat.
Look, they're here for making money. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm happy with that because, and this is nuts, and it's taken us this long to actually talk about it, but the Challenger deck list came out on Friday, and everyone lost their frigging mind. I have never, and I'm talking, been playing this game, good, more than 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. Never have I ever seen Wizards get so close to selling singles. The Challenger deck lists are amazing. There is a deck list in here, the Vehicle Rush deck, which is basically Mardu vehicles. This deck is literally half rares. Half of it is rare, mythic or rare. And it includes 4 Heart of Kieran, for God's sake. I mean, Wizards are not messing around. This play design team, A+, guys, because first of all, they designed these after they knew they were going to ban something from the energy deck, because there is a sort of a counter energy deck thing called Counter Surge that uses Winding Constrictor and Friends and Glint Sleeve Siphoner, again, 4 of, and they're not holding back. These are real decks. These are actual competitive decks, and this is one of the best new player things I have ever seen. And when they first came out, a lot of people, I think, had different ideas as to, is this good, is this bad? Obviously, the MTG finance people were freaking out because they're like,
of course,
I got 60 Chandras. What am I supposed to do? You know,
right.
So there was that kind of reaction. But let's kind of break it down on a level by level. So first of all, for Wizards, this is a breakout product, like absolutely sold out at the distributor level. Like people want these decks. They're very exciting. All right. For the retailer is able to bring in new players, show them, hey, if you want to play an FNM and you don't want to be embarrassed, like these are decks that won't embarrass you. They will straight not embarrass you.
Absolutely.
Which is huge for only $30 MSRP.
Yeah.
And of course for the player, again, like just a few weeks ago, I hired a new graphic designer and he was like, hey, I want to get into Magic, and he was like, what should I do for FNM? Like, and I have to kind of go over this like roundabout, like, well, you could build a deck builder's toolkit and you could buy some packs and you can go look at some articles and maybe buy a deck that way and blah, 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 and help improve your stuff. No. I just be like, look, buy one of these 4. Figure out your play style. Buy one of these 4. You are instantly competitive, and you can't embarrass yourself by your deck build. Play's a different thing, and that's okay. That's why there's FNM, and it's okay to make mistakes. But these decks are sweet. You got one Chandra and one friggin' one Chandra and Glorybringer and Hazoret in the red deck. I mean, they give and they give and they give. These things are amazing.
I think this.
And
also
you know what's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay. You know what goes great with one Chandra, what goes great with one Hazoret, and what goes great with one Glorybringer? More of all of those cards. So they'll be still picking up all of those extra cards as they get more competitive in Magic.
Yeah, I think this also goes a long way to sort of regaining confidence and sort of healing the wounds over the last couple of months. Standard, quite honestly, hasn't been good for a long time. And I think that the confidence in Standard has been shaken with the string of bans that we've seen. Standard was a safe format for a long time. That was something most Standard players didn't have to worry about. Those of us who play older formats kind of know when we get into it that banning is something that could always happen, could happen at any time. And Standard players had never really had to deal with that before. And it's no secret that attendance at Standard events has been down, record lows. And I think not only is this a win in terms of like the new player, but I think this also goes away in terms of bringing established players back, or maybe people who left Standard to try other formats. This is a great way to woo them back. It's a win on just every front, but that's really the thing that jumped out at me, is this is sort of them kind of extending the olive branch and trying to get people back into Standard after the last couple of years. And I was at Grand Prix Memphis this past weekend. I met some very sweet people while I was there. Shout out to Zach, Brian, and Crystal for being absolute sweethearts. But Standard is sweet right now. I really liked a lot of the decks that I saw on camera. I've liked a lot of the decks that I've seen in the 5-0 list dumps. And so I think Standard is finally shaping up to be in a good place.
But I think, the other half was it wasn't very well attended. Is that correct?
I think we had a little over maybe 900. I could be wrong, but it seemed like it was pretty good. So
these days of a GP under 1,000 people is kind of
right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in terms of I can't verify the numbers, but I can verify the feedback that I saw from clicking on the hashtag, the feedback from Reddit, the feedback from my players on Team Card Hoarder, the feedback from the commentators. Universally there was a feeling of Standard's okay now, Standard's fine now, and sort of wanting to keep an eye on the format.
And that's, trust me, for what it's worth, that's terrific. I'm happy for that. No one wants a broken, terrible format.
Right.
And it's great that they can also squeeze out like the last 6 months of value out of these cards before they rotate, which is another aspect of the Challenger decks, which again is not necessarily a bad thing. Somebody was just like, I can't believe they're doing this. It's like, look, they were going to lose all this value in 6 months anyway. Enjoy the value while you can. Yes, I think it will affect future behavior in terms of what people sort of go in on and invest in and buy a bunch of or whatever. And that's okay, because you don't want the other extreme. The other extreme is Yu-Gi-Oh! If you don't know how Yu-Gi-Oh! Works, just imagine that, let's say 2 months from now, Wizards makes a product and Chandra is a common in that product. I'm not kidding. They do stuff like that. Or they'll do a special tin where you're guaranteed to get a Chandra and it's like, $12.99 or something. And amongst other cards, they do that all the time, where they'll make $100 stupid crazy rare and then 6 months later, everybody gets it for basically nothing. So those are the types of swings that you can have when a company goes too far. This is Wizards going a little bit further than they have before, but I think in a terrific new way. So, but that said, when they go terrific new ways. Erin, can you tell us a little bit about Magic Madhouse and their response to? And now this person was like, "I'm just asking questions." I'm like, "No, bro, you were straight like daggering these people. Like, why did you do this? Tell me what happened." Erin, tell us what happened.
So it's no secret that one of the things that I really love to kind of drill people on is I love when businesses make mistakes. I love hashtag PR nightmares. I love it when companies just do dumb things in public. And so this is actually a really good response. I actually have no bad news here. I have no dragging here. There was an individual who reached out to a supplier in the UK known as Magic Madhouse and basically asked them about what their plans were for the MSRP. And there was an impression that they were going to be charging a little bit more. I believe 10 euros more or 10 pounds more. I believe that's what the symbol is. That's the pound symbol, yeah? Mm-hmm. 10 pounds. Yeah. Okay. So this individual had reached out to them, and it sounded like they were almost trying to trap them or almost trying to get them to do something stupid. And the person in the person included a transcript of the conversation, and the person said, I would like to know, why are you charging the Hazoret deck for well over the MSRP? There are plenty of other stores that are charging less than this. And their responses were great. There was a lot of transparency there. They said, "Hi, thank you for the message. We understand your frustration with these decks. We are forced to purchase them as sets. You get 2 decks of each in one display. This unfortunately leaves us in the situation where one deck will be massively more popular than the other decks, remind you of anything else. But in order to get that one deck, we have to purchase all 4. And so this business did a really good job of answering this person's questions, letting them into their process. And it was just a really big win here. And like I said, when I first clicked on this, I was like, oh, we're going to see some nonsense. And because that's usually what businesses do. They don't really know how to handle themselves. And this one really knocked it out of the park. This is very much a template for if you are a business and you want to know how to handle customer inquiries like this. I would do what this business did because they did a very good job. And they got to eat. I mean, I don't know why.
A lot of times.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
A lot of times what happens is stores will, when you get these questions that are like hard-hitting questions, usually there's very simple, standard, understandable reasons why things like this work. It's honestly just supply and demand. Wizards did make you buy them as sets. You have to buy them as sets of 4. So you can't just be like, well, like back in the day, I want the Rat's Nest
the
pre-con
Rat's Nest
from Betrayers, and I don't want the other crappy one they made because it doesn't have a Jitte in it. So we want the one with Chandra, but let me tell you, there's going to be some real cheap blue-white decks out there because the approach deck is sweet, but it doesn't have half rares in it. It doesn't have Chandra in it now, does it? So there's going to be winners and losers. Something always must be the best, and as a result, businesses kind of change their way in their pricing as a result. So, and I believe right now, even on Cool Stuff Inc., we have a little bit of a disparity in terms of the pricing because again, it's not that we're trying to gouge people. It's that, look, we're going to have a lot more of this and a lot less of that, and this one's wanted a lot more than this one is, and that's just the reality of the way the business works.
Oh man, that reminds me, we had a card hoarder just recently raised their ticket buy price to 96 cents a piece. And I had to tweet out the announcement, and it was so funny. There was a guy that was like, "What is the reason for this?" And we were just like, we're out of tickets. And he was expecting some great story, and it's like, no, we just could really use your tickets right now. And he was like, and he even tweeted, he was like, well, that's still disappointing. And it's like, what did you want us to say?
Right.
Sometimes it's not as exciting as people imagine.
Yeah. What do you want the LGSs to do? Your friendly local game store. You want them to sell high value decks to you at MSRP and then have you open them directly in front of them and sell you back the cards for more than that? That's not reasonable. Come on.
No. No, and I think the store did a really good job. They explained that they have to buy them all at once. I think if it were up to them, they would simply just buy the ones that they would expect they need, but they can't do that. And I think if you want to know more about it, this was, I didn't know this about the business, and so this was some good insight for people like me. And so if you're curious, you might want to post the link in the chat and people can get some insight into this too, because I think it really helped clarify things.
Yeah, and it's just one of those very straightforward, people are just like, there's a conspiracy, and it's like, no, if you watch Buy List, it's the exact same way. It's like, why is so-and-so paying X for Y? It's because they don't have any copies. It's the same reason why the reason why vendors, pay to show up at Grand Prix events, for example, is because it's really hard to buy older cards went through the mail, because people don't like sending expensive cards through the mail. They like to have that conversation with you about, how damaged or undamaged they are and how much value you're going to get as a result. So that's one of the powerful things of being a vendor at a Grand Prix, is that you can buy Lotuses and Moxes and Moats and stuff, because no one sends that stuff through the mail. They'll send you a Locust God all day, but they're never going to send you something weird and rare and really expensive.
Yeah.
Just kind of happens. So so we've talked about the Dominaria set symbol, which is weird. Who knows? But we also, here in Desperate Ravings, we get to talk a little bit again about a win. We get to talk about a win, Aaron. Oh my God. People are winning. That's crazy.
They're learning. This is great.
This is awesome, because of not quite similar, but something different did happen to KMC Sleeves. Aaron, tell us what happened.
Yeah, so KMC Sleeves apparently received some negative feedback on their Facebook. There was an individual named Lee Hung Win who said, I hope they are as good as they used to be. I'm also glad they changed the packaging. They should also have a guarantee on the new packaging saying that they will accept all returns of the defect one. They need to go the extra mile to earn the trust of the Magic community again. Girl. MTG players have money to throw at companies like KMC. It's hard to earn trust, but easy to lose it. Now, dramatics aside, KMC's response was gold. Again, they could have launched off on a tirade. They could have blamed the Jews. They could have done what every other business has done. We've covered them on the show. It has happened. But KMC said these are really good points, Lee, using the first name that establishes a personal connection, that is gold, and ones that truly resonate with us. We're going to DM you with more information on all of this, but we will definitely be offering a guarantee. And then Lee posted, I believe, a picture of the DM. And they, again, hi, Lee, again, personal connection. I wanted to let you know that we really appreciate your feedback. Everything you said could not be more true. They're owning it. They're not denying it, and that's a great start. We will definitely be offering a guarantee on the defective product, as we do not feel it's fair for you to spend your hard-earned money on a defective product. This is gold. Like, again, this is a masterclass in how to handle feedback. They're not denying it happened. They're not burying it. They're owning it completely. They're giving you steps as to how they're going to avoid this going forward. This was great. And again, this is another one that I clicked on and I was like, here we go. And then just right off the bat, once I saw them referring to this person by name, I knew that we were in for a really good time.
Yeah, it was really sweet. Again, so, sometimes, again, there's not always these conspiracy theories. Not all these companies are trying to screw you over. Sometimes, things happen, and they can happily own it. They don't have to be weird about it. They don't have to make it a thing. They don't have to double down like a lot of people may or may not have done in the recent past history when presented with things. You don't have to do that.
No,
but the reason why we're specifically bringing it up is because of how much of a, name of the episode, masterclass these responses were. I mean, we want to highlight when people do good. These are, look, if you got somebody, you need to write a nice email, or you need to respond via Twitter to some of your angry patrons. Boy, howdy, let me tell you, you can get the folks that work at KMC and Madhouse to do it for you. Because these are both really good and refreshing, too, because we've had, like you said, we've had some interesting, scapegoats in the past.
Wow. So, and we certainly have. Now, lastly, for Desperate Ravings, Command Cast, our friends Jimmy and Josh, recently hit their 200, or they're about to hit their 200th episode, I think it is.
About to, yes.
Just about to. And so, being on our, number 130-something episode, we kind of understand sort of what's going on with that. Quick update for the Kickstarter. We're at $1,889 as of right this moment. And you guys are amazing. And we love you, and you're great. And I can't.
Please, thank you.
Oh, my God. I was so I swear to God, I was so nervous. I was just like, this is...
I'm still nervous. There's still a part of me that thinks something's going to happen, and it's all just going to go away, or it's going to be like Major Look, or we're going to be
JK. Everybody leaves day of, and then,
I'm still not convinced. It's like waiting for the other shoe to drop, And
then that final stream is just the wine and the tears, and I can't believe you guys. Don't.
Cut to me, doing karaoke to Midnight Train to Georgia. Just.
So we're going to move on here to Splash Damage, where things happen that may not necessarily be directly Magic related, but they're Magic related. And TCGplayer, our friends at TCGplayer.com, just announced that they got $10 million in growth equity investment from Radiant Capital.
Can they give some of that to Ruben for a new computer?
No, that's called a stretch goal. Thanks. Ruben needs it. God bless him. And you know it. But
First of all, I have no comebacks. Second of all, if I had a comeback, it would get lost in the ether. So
he would and it'd be like the greatest comeback of all time, but you'd have no idea what it was.
No one would ever hear it.
It would be amazing. That said, they're getting $10 million, which is a lot of dollars, and the Radiant Capital Group is getting some percentage of the business. They're actually owning some part of the equity of the business. It was announced that that Chetty, the person who owns TCGplayer.com, that he still has a controlling stake. So we know that's at least 51%. So between 0 and 49%, I guess, or 1% and 49% is what Radiant Capital got. But what they also mentioned was essentially TCG Player is really good at getting sellers and buyers to talk to each other. So let you list things and let them buy things, and they're the middleman, and they get the middleman money, and that's kind of how it works. Well, they want to expand not just for card games. They want to do things for comic books or sports cards or board games. And all of these things, all of these markets are big, are growing, have plenty of people buying and selling right now. They just want to expand what they're doing. Now, and this is what I pontificated on Twitter about, which was I don't think that they're going to keep the TCG Player branding for whatever service they have for comic books. I don't think they're going to keep TCG Player branding for whatever they do for board games, because you don't go, oh, board games, oh, right, of course, TCGplayer.com is where I get my board games. No, right. Because, you can either rebrand the company, which is, I think, an option, or you can make different companies, and you do essentially a DBA, which is doing business as, and you make, comicbooktraders.com or whatever, and that can be your thing. And there's goods and bads to both having different companies or having different doing business as companies, and having one umbrella where you rebrand the company. Rebranding is very expensive. It's often very confusing. Sometimes it can hurt your Google rating quite a bit. Your Google ranking suddenly is not pointed the same as it used to point to. There's the whole transition. If people really don't like it, what do you do? So there's a lot of risks involved. I think it was the right risk for the investment group to buy in TCG Player. I think they're a great company. They're very profitable, and they've been doing a good job. But where they go from here is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I think this is a neat development. Shout out to Stibbs, my former boss, who's now part of TCG Player and doing wonderful things. And, I love that they're sort of branching out. There have been many articles written about how gaming is kind of going through this renaissance where people are playing games more than ever before and are looking to, just have more intimate get-togethers with each other and kind of prying themselves away from their cell phones. And I think it's great. And I think it's only natural that a company that's been successful with one game kind of wants to branch out and get into comic books and get into board games and things of that nature. And I think this also kind of sets the trend for other stores. I don't think this is something we've ever really seen before, at least not publicly. There were major news outlets that covered this deal. And I think it kind of shows you what's possible, I think if TCG Player can do it, maybe other sites could do it too. And I love that. I would love for people to keep growing, and that's more people gaming is always a good thing. More people playing, more people opening packs, more people opening games. Just seems like a win for everybody involved.
So from that word doesn't mean what you think it means, Pile. Thank you for the chat, because apparently pontificating is to express one's opinion in an annoying way. So for what it's worth, I could very well be pontificating depending on your opinion of myself. However, the right word, as ATAN Adonai 23 pointed out, is hypothesizing. I am hypothesizing. Okay. Whether they should make different companies.
Come on, Websters.
I know, right? I'm the worst. It's weird. All right, so that said, really interesting for TCG Player. Really excited to see what they have moving forward. But we turn the corner to the finisher.
You got to give away a gift, mister.
But first, we're going to give away a gift. I totally did not forget that, because I edited... I get, there's no good answer. I just kind of
put it in. I'll put it in the notes real big here. Give me just a second. Let's change this to size 48 font. Give.
So one of our stretch goals will be that Ruben gets a new computer. The other stretch goal will be that Evan will have flashcards, and we will program him to never ever forget another giveaway.
I will install a light behind me that can go on at the and you guys have the power to turn it on, so I don't. So I just be like, oh, there's the giveaway light. It's a giveaway time. I'm a doofus. Oh my god. So. All right, so that said, congratulations to Nick W. from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yes!
Mr. Nick W., you have won a playset, or not a playset, a draft set rather, of Masters 25, which is 3 packs, so you and your friends can draft for free. Your friends have to buy packs, which is fine. Or you can just open 3 packs because Value Town. Who cares? Let's go. I can't ship them until March 16th, of course, but I'll contact you. We'll make sure all that stuff gets worked out. Congratulations. Thanks for everybody who entered tonight. And before we, I know Ruben really did put in gigantic font giveaway. Moving on. Before we turn the corner officially.
The Comic Sans, actually.
Oh, God. That's just
fun here. There we go.
I think I saw this on a board game once where they had people wear these headbands and you put like your card on it and you wear it on your forehead and you don't know what your card is and you somehow have to guess with clues. Like, well, I'll just have giveaway headbands. And
yeah, games like that can sometimes turn into like racism the game because you're not really like, how do I describe this person without describing it in a really terrible stereotypical way?
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it gets weird. That said, before we turn the corner officially, last update on our Kickstarter, over $1,900. 1902 is where we're at right now.
In an hour.
We're going to have to come up with something at 2K. We have to come up with something for 2K, which we will. And then I guess the computer is going to be probably somewhere higher.
Oh my God. You're killing me, Rubes. I wish our first stretch goal had been a new computer for you, I swear to God. I think that would have been a little bit more exciting than foils. I think Rubes get taken care of is our first stretch goal. But it will be in there, and we will do this, and we will make it awesome, and you guys are amazing, and we love you, and we thank you.
Thank you.
I am blown away. That said, one of the most delicious developments of Magic Twitter over the past couple of weeks has been hashtag Mingucci Cuisine, a discourse on delightful delectables made by none other than 3-time Pro Tour Top 8 competitor, captain of Team Italy when they won the World Magic Cup in 2015, and Channel Fireball content producer Andrea Mingucci. So given the success of the Gooch's magical menu tweets, what would you bring to the table, Erin?
Well, to stay on brand, I would definitely need to be offering something graveyard or gravy yard based. I definitely think we can have a nice thick piece of bacon, probably on a cheeseburger, maybe dredged in some egg and breadcrumbs, and we would call it Miss Campbell's Loaf from the Loam.
Wow. Ruben?
Good stuff.
Well, just like many Patreons featuring sexy streamers such as myself, folks want to see a little leg, a little thigh, a little breast fleur, maybe some wings. So for my Mingucci Cuisine entry, I'll be cooking up a meal that's sure to give you the chicken skin. I'll call it Ruben's Leaked Noodles.
Well, yeah, for my offering, I'm pulling all the stops out to make a full-on turducken, combining a few of my favorite 1-1 flyers into one oven-baked, brine-based delicacy I'm calling Mr. Orange's Special 3 Foods. Seriously.
Nice.
Brine-based.
That was so sweet. I loved it. It was great. This is one of the best episodes ever for a whole host of reasons.
Oh, my God.
This is awesome.
You want to know one more?
Let's hear it.
2000, baby.
Oh, my God. We're excited. 2000. Oh, my God. I can't handle it. Woo! Oh my God!
Can't believe it.
That's insane. You guys are nuts.
We were legit worried we wouldn't do this.
We were legit.
I still feel like I'm gonna puke.
Yeah.
Now we're on the other end. Now there's too much success. Oh God, what are we supposed to do?
Now I've gotten off of the roller coaster, but I still have the jumblies.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is great. So that ends another episode of Magic Mics. Thank you for joining us here live to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you. I will be at SCG Worcester this weekend, so come say hello. I'll be dredging my brains out. It'll be great.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you, everyone. And I'll see y'all in 2 weeks in Phoenix.
That's right. It's going to be sweet. And last little bit here for those who are waiting for the tokens and whatnot, we have all the tokens but the metal ones in and the playmats. We'll be sending out that stuff very, very soon. We'll send out the metal ones later because those only go to a few people. So everybody can get their stuff as soon as possible. So I expect to have that up by the end of the week or first of next week. So that'll be sweet. On to our final slide. I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, our co-sponsor, CardHoarder.com, my co-hosts, Aaron Campbell and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching. I hope you support us at Patreon.com/MagicMikes. Visit our website at MagicMikesPodcast.com that exists thanks to our Patreon supporters, or follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe, and do everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online at Twitch.tv/MagicMikes, on Twitter at MagicMikesCast, on Reddit at Reddit.com/r/MagicMikes, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/MagicMikes. Talk to us privately at MagicMikesPodcast@gmail.com. Follow the audio-only podcast at MagicMikesPodcast.libsyn.com, or find us on iTunes, or join us here next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mikes. Good night, everybody.